Microphone off. Microphone on.
We are
Edit controls.
finally
Date default.
back.
Note. This. Can we have a quiet moment? Tell me more about him.
Yeah, tell me more about Solgness.
Messages. A monochrome icon. Responded. Master Ignis. Ellipsis. He's awesome. He was a big dreamer, always talking about the grand possibilities of fire magic. He believed that fire magic had the most powerful applications and could bring great change to the lives of all mages in Valencia. He gave very moving speeches. I think he got a lot of people excited about fire magic and becoming fire mages. Of course, Master Ignis is most known for creating the Ignis amulet. These amulets provided incredible warmth to all mages in harsh, cold environments. Mages were able to use the amulets to create fire for light, for cooking, for attacking beasts in the forests.
Okay, it can create fire. That's actually really cool. That's actually...
It was wonderful. Additionally, mages were able to draw the powers of the amulet and learn to use fire magic for themselves.
That's
It was
also
wonderful.
very...
Ignis had accomplished
cool.
everything in his vision of the future. He was granted the title of the Master of Fire, and no one doubted his abilities. Ellipsis. But then, Ignis started practicing all...
The hell?
But then, Master Ignis' sister suddenly fell sick with a terminal illness. Ignis started practicing all kinds of magic in search for a cure. While fire magic has many powerful applications, he was not able to find a way to adapt it to cure his sister. One day, he emerged and sadly informed the people that she had passed, Ellipsis, in his very own arms. After that he disappeared and was never heard from again. I always wanted an Ignis amulet, but after Master Ignis disappeared, each amulet was recalled. I guess they lost all their warmth and now have been modified into something different, Ellipsis. Maybe when his sister died, the amulets grew cold with Ignis' heart, Ellipsis. Anyways, his sister was an introverted soul who stayed out of the spotlight for the most part, but there is one story about her. Are you still listening? System message. Ash is waiting. Yeah. Tell me about the sister. One of two responses. Button. Actually, I would like a quiet moment to think through things. Yeah. System are you? Yeah. Tell me about the sister. One of two responses. Messages. A monochrome icon stylized with a meteor. Okay, this happened before her brother became the Master of Fire. One day, her brother drew out a large crowd in a field just outside the town of Windsor Hollow, promising to unveil the future of fire magic. He was holding something covered by cloth. When he pulled the cloth away, the crowd gasped. Revealed were 3 gigantic ruby dragon eggs. Ignis proudly declared that he intended to draw the energy from these rare items and create the most powerful fire spell Valencia had ever seen. The crowd went wild. Dragons were for the most part almost extinct, and ruby dragons were known to have very strong fire magic. The cheers of the crowd were quickly silenced, however, when a giant shadow appeared in the sky. At first, no one could make it out, but as the object flew straight toward them, realization struck and the crowd started to yell in panic. It was a ruby dragon, and it wasn't exactly pleased that Ignis had stolen its eggs. It opened its jaws wide and inhaled. A giant plume of fire came spiraling down from its mouth and down straight for Ignis. Ignis was no
Wait, it inhaled? Wouldn't it be exhaled?
Master of Fire at the time, so it could have been his end, but his sister jumped straight in front of him. She swung her arms, yelling her incantation. The fire from the ruby dragon was sucked into her spell, spinning around her in a perfect sphere. She used the back force of the swirling flames to throw herself into the sky and with another spell, launched the very flames the dragon breathed right back at the legendary beast. The force was such that the ruby dragon was thrown far into the horizon by the impact. It never returned. Apparently, his sister was very talented with fire magic. However, this is when the crowd turned on Master Ignis. The people scoffed at him for being such a middling mage, talking big, but not having anything to show for it. His sister, on the other hand, was heralded as a hero, and people felt that she had the potential to be the next Master of Fire. But this didn't stop Master Ignis. Master Ignis declared that he would return with hard results. He ignored the public backlash, and disappeared back to his lab for many years. At this time, his sister also disappeared, likely to provide Ignis moral support for his endeavors. People had almost forgotten about the two, until he finally re-emerged. He said he was successful in drawing the powers of the ruby dragon eggs, and had created an incredibly powerful amulet. And the rest was history. It's really sad his sister died. I feel like 2 great mages were lost. But the old tales have it that Ignis did not give up, even after her death. Some say he eventually looked to forbidden magic, in a desperate attempt to have her back. That's when people started calling him a lunatic. Revival magic isn't something to be trifled with. It was banned ever since the king of the Reinhardt Empire tried to use it. Reinhardt was the largest empire before Valder. When King Reinhardt's daughter was murdered by her very own husband, a prince from overseas, the king turned to forbidden magic to bring her back. They say as a result, the entire empire was cursed from his actions and Reinhardt fell soon after. I wonder if Master Ignis is still alive out there. I wonder if he's still trying to revive his sister. Of course I'd want to revive my loved one, but King Reinhardt's desire to do that destroyed his whole empire. What would you do? System message. Ash is waiting. I would never mess around with such dark magic. I would do anything to save a loved one. 2 of turning back time feels a lot like reviving you. I would do anything to save a loved one. 5,000.
Turning back time does feel a lot like reviving you though.
Responded. Did I do enough to save my parents? They are dead, so, ellipsis, I don't think I did enough. Talking about Master Ignis helped distract me for a bit, so thank you for listening. I guess now we wait until the merchant messages me. I'll report back as soon as he does. 3 hours, 50, airplane mode, quick note. Selected.